Welcome in, everybody. We're here live at the Co-op, courtesy of our friends at 40 Acres Apparel. Thank you also to our sponsor of the Friday afternoon live stream. That is Garage Beer. Rod Babers alongside Jerry Hamilton's at a hotel somewhere in Florida trying to figure out where the next recruit he's going to go see is, Rod. But we're here. A lot of people here at the Co-op. It's always a fun time to be here. I got to tell you this. We just saw Nico Harrison, the Dallas Mavs GM. He's here, apparently, with his daughter, Mia, who is a high jumper that is being recruited by Texas. She was being escorted by John Burt, the former Texas football and track star, who's now working for the university as well.
All those things make sense because last week when we were here, I saw John Burt, and I was like, John Burt? And Marcus said, yeah, John Burt's is still hanging out. He's informed me that he was with the track team. I thought he was just here at the Co-op party. And the Co-op's a place to be. And this week, when I was doing some shopping before the show, I saw Nico, and I looked at him. Our eyes met, and I was like, why do I know you? I didn't say that. But my eyes said that. My eyes were like, why do I know who you are? I don't know. But then
I'm waiting for a smart aleck response from Jerry Hamilton right about now about
no, it's not about Nico. It's like Rod said Rod said he was shopping this week. He was also shopping last week.
No, this is a bad habit I have now. Every time I go into the Co-op, I got here like 20 minutes ago. Bobby texted me, you close? I'm like, I'm here. I'm just shopping. And I don't like this habit that I come into the Co-op now and I find stuff I like in here, but it's hard not to find something I like.
I was going to say, that happens when you have a little girl, Rod. Like, you'll find, because she's constantly growing, but constantly growing. Hey, I want to say thank you to our sponsor before we get going. We got predictions today. We're going to talk about last-minute news, other comments and commentary. Jerry has been on the road with recruiting, so there's some news there as well. But first, we're going to say thank you to Garage Beer. Garage Beer, the light and lime, with 95 calories, 3 grams of carbs, and only 4% ABV. It is beer-flavored beer. You've seen the Kelsey brothers promote this. Now on Texas Football's promoting it. This is beer the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. That's Garage Beer. No gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. Thank you for sponsoring the Friday afternoon live stream all year long, by the way. So they are a new Friday afternoon sponsor. Rod, we talk about predictions. Jerry, we talk about predictions. We're going to get there. But first, I want to ask you, Jerry, you've been out on the road today. Any news on the recruiting front that you want to add for folks that are just joining us?
Yeah, there's a lot more rumors on Dia Bell's injury. There's a quarterback from Booker T. Washington, a backup, transferred in American Heritage this week. Wednesday, when I was at American Heritage, Dia was not there, and I'm not. I'm going to let the family get into that. But he is. There's some rumors, not us. There's some rumors that he's going to miss an extended period of time. They play tonight in the Superdome against Edna Carr, so we will know shortly, I think, because Coach Smith will be asked to comment on this by media and stuff in this game, which is a televised game. If how long Dia Bell's out, and will it affect his entire season?
Saw this week James Johnson, the big defensive tackle out of Miami Northwestern. Rod, he's been one of the top players in the country. He continues to be committed to Texas. Took a visit to Texas last weekend, had visited Miami the weekend before that. Jerry, give people that haven't caught up this week an update on James Johnson as well, the 5-star defensive tackle.
Yeah, James Johnson at Miami Northwestern. I saw him Monday, 6'3", 280, 82-inch wingspan. He's going to be 310. A tremendous prospect. I spoke to a couple of coaches at Miami Northwestern, both guys that played at Miami. The U, by the way, after playing at Northwestern, the D coordinator there played for Charlie Strong at Louisville. But all those guys believe Texas is where James Johnson wants to be. And then when you talk to James, and that interview's up on Texas Football, I think he kind of gives that impression that he might want to get away and get out of state and do something different. We talk about this all the time with kids from Texas that go to out-of-state schools. Some kids just want to do something different. Now in the NIL day and age, sometimes there could be that part of the convincing too. But I think James Johnson right now wants to just get away and do something different, and it makes sense. He committed to Georgia, decommitted, committed to Texas. He's had 2 chances to stay home, and he didn't stay home either chance. Mario Cristobal's the message to him was pretty clear. Signing day is not until the first week of December, and we're still going to come after you. And on Derek Cooper, the same thing. Derek Cooper was committed to Georgia, decommitted, committed to Texas. I think Derek Cooper is very similar. When you look at it, he visited 5 out-of-state schools and 1 in-state school. So he obviously was looking more out of state than in state. Does that mean Miami can't win one of these recruitments in December? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying right now I think Texas is in a pretty good spot for those kids. Derek Cooper's OV will be September 20th. James Johnson will also be in town September 20th, as well as a number of other guys. Then at D-line recruiting, I'll say this too before we get into the game. Auburn continues to push for Corey Wells. Texas is fighting that one. Texas wants Corey Wells. If he happened to flip to an Auburn or Ole Miss, it's not because Texas doesn't want him. They've been fighting for him the whole way. Then there's Dylan Berryman maybe on Ole Miss's campus this weekend. Texas is going to have guys on campus, 2 committed to other places coming up here in the future.
All right, good update there from Jerry Hamilton of On Texas Football. Rod, I got to ask you, you've been keeping your ears peeled and thinking about this game and your analysis. Give me 2 or 3 things you're looking for in this game.
There's a couple of things. I think to start with, it's the UTEP front and how they create pressure. And they blitz a lot, by the way. Their opposing quarterbacks have been blitzed, I believe, over 58% of their pass attempts. That's a high number. I believe Arch has been blitzed around 41% of his pass attempts. So they lead the country, or at least tied for the lead in sacks nationally. I believe they're 3rd now in tackles for loss nationally. And of those 23 tackles for loss, we brought this up earlier, 14 players contribute to that number. 9 players contributed to their 9 sacks. So they do it with a lot of guys, and they do it aggressively. And I think that's how they're going to try to take away some of the deeper routes and some of the intermediate routes. The truth is, Arch hasn't been great in the intermediate area, so you don't really need to take that away. What you have to take away is the deep ball. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country at completing the deep pass. And what they actually depend on is their pressure getting to the quarterback before the quarterback can take advantage of those vertical shots. They have been hit on some vertical shots so far this year, and they've done a really good job of making teams pay when they try to hit it downfield, especially against that blitz.
Jerry, you heard what Rod had to say. You have any comments on that? I think his mic is muted here. Hold on one second, Jerry.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Blake. I'm totally muted like Blake. Yeah, I totally agree with what Rod had to say. I'll say this. I think what's going to be interesting in this game is UTEP's best 2 defenders are their linebackers. They're very active players. Micah Davey and Joshua Rudolph. They've combined for 38 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and a multiple tackles for loss and a fumble recovery in 2 games. They're very active, and I think they're going to use those guys a lot to try to simulate pressures, to bring pressure. If they play a 3-man front a large percentage of the time. But I think those linebackers are going to be the key for Texas. And I absolutely love, Rod and Bobby, if UTEP tries to attack Texas the same way San Jose State did, to see if Texas has improved from week 2 to week 3. I would love to see some of the similarities there to see if Texas has improved and see how the offensive line and the tight ends and the wide receivers, everybody reacts to that.
I'm the same as Jerry. I think this game is about Texas, not so much about its opponent. They definitely will have to react to some of what the opponent does. Don't get me wrong, Rod and Jerry. But I think this game ultimately and next game need to be about Texas and what Texas is going to be and the team they're going to be in 2025. Yeah, identity inside the red zone. So I was talking to a guy who came up here earlier, a student I think at the University today. He's like 3rd down and red zone. That's what Texas needs to work on right now. 3rd
down will be tested today. UTEP, top 10 3rd down defense in the country now. I know they've only played UT Martin and Utah State, but they have been really good in the 3rd down. And Texas has been one of the worst teams in the country. They only converted 1 3rd down longer than 4 or more yards to game. Just one.
All of the whole year. And that includes Ohio State and San Jose State. The San Jose State game, Rod, we talked about in this post game, 9.7 yards to go was the average on 3rd down. You ain't going to get many doing that. But we will see. I think we talk about this, but I still would come back and say, look, this is Texas's game. They've got to. I don't know if enforce their will is the right word, because it's hard to do that. I mean, but Texas should play its game and not be dictated to by UTEP, even if UTEP brings the house at some level.
Agree. And do it for a longer period of time, right? I think there was a time in that San Jose State game, for about 10 minutes there in the second quarter where Texas took over that game and they played it in a dominant fashion with complementary football. I think that's what you're looking for, but you're looking for it from either longer stretches or multiple periods of the game to have those kind of stretches. Because just having it one time, I think that was disappointing because that was most of the offense for Texas, and they really couldn't generate any consistency offensively outside of that period of complementary football.
All right, we're live here again at the UT Co-op. Co-op is your store for Longhorn gear. We got a lot of things going on. We got Bevo over here hanging out with people, having fun. They've got some cocktails for people. The Co-op has changed in my time. Back when I was here, it was just all textbooks. Now it's a full-on store with a lot of stuff going on. We'll also have Marcus Myers join us here in a little bit, Rod. Somebody you know quite well and has been starting to work with us here at All Texas Football. We'll let you guys hear from him. We're also going to talk predictions next. I tell you what, why don't we just go right into it? Because I kind of set it up. I think this is about Texas, Rod, and not about anybody else. I went with 38-0. And I think that Texas has a chance to dominate this game from beginning to end and should do so, really going right out and getting after it from the outset and hopefully, letting this defense be who they are. I mean, they've allowed 21 total points this season so far. UTEP may have the worst offense of the three teams they've played. So what are your thoughts?
I don't know what the number is now. I haven't looked at it. I looked last time. It was like
41 and a half.
40 and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know if they cover that number. I have Texas 42-6. Now, that's still a pretty dominant win.
Yep.
I think my respect for the defense continues to grow, I believe, after this game. Offensively, I think it's going to be a great test for an offensive line that struggled a little bit last week. Even Sark talked about how they lost some of their fundamentals with an undersized offensive line with San Jose State. This is an undersized offensive line with UTEP that's really aggressive. They're going to blitz Arch more than he's been blitzed all season long. And they play really sound third down defense. Shout out to CJ Bogle, who gave us the stat that Pro Football Focus has them as the best graded tackling defense in the country. So that's why they're so good on third down. There's not a lot of leaky yardage with this group. So it's a really good test for the offense, guys. Good test for the O-line. Good test for Texas in critical moments like third down, of course, in red zone.
Jerry, what do you think about this this group and your score prediction? You're a little bit you got UTEP scoring a few more points, but you also have Texas scoring heavy in this game too.
Yeah, look, part of my take on this game is Wisner's out, DeAndre Moore's probably out, Emmett Mosley still hasn't played this year. Jack injuries is probably not 100%. Michael Taft's probably not 100%. You start to look around and you're like, okay, well, especially when you look at the offense, where how many of your playmakers are actually healthy? And yeah, it's easy to just say Texas just roll up 60 points and beat UTEP 60-7. I don't think that works that way though, because San Jose State came with a very inspired effort against Texas, and UTEP's going to do the same thing. And they're not as good a team as San Jose State is, but they don't have as many big people, I think, to play against Texas, and they weren't as good a team. Period. That guy's a really good young coach, but that's a tough program to win at. But so I just don't know if Texas has the parts, all their parts right now, to really just go in and I know people want the 50 burgers. I just don't know if I see that. And I don't know if Sark's really coaching that type of game. I think UTEP's got to play pretty bad to get beat by 55 or 60 in a game like this. And I think Malachi Nelson will complete a couple of balls down the field. And I think the flip side of that is Malachi Nelson, I should say, former 5-star. I think he'll throw it to the guys in burnt orange, too, if they get pressure on him, because I think he throws deep late. And the kind of the cardinal sin we talk about with young quarterbacks. I think he'll throw it deep late, and I think Texas is going to be there and make plays on it. But I think I could see. I'm always with the late score type of situation. I could see this game in 48-7 going into the fourth quarter, and then they get a late touchdown or something like that. Texas is going to dominate this game because they have much better talent. But I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if they have all the pieces right now or to playing at the high enough level. I would have to be nuts to pick them to win like 60-3 right now, the way they played last week. But Rod, I think we hadn't really talked this week. I think Texas is going to come out and play a lot cleaner football game because it was a great week to coach for Sark and those guys. I think we're going to see a much cleaner football game from Texas. I want to see it carry over from UTEP to Sam Houston. I know we're going to have a week to talk about that, but I do predict Texas is going to play a much cleaner and better game because of the way last week went, even in a win. I want to see it 2 weeks in a row. I don't want this to be the team that's up and down. I think that's the worst case scenario.
Inexperienced teams, young teams are usually up and down like that, Jerry. So I'm with you. As they grow, become more experienced, get more reps, get more snaps for those young guys, hopefully you get a more disciplined team. So that was an emphasis this week. Sark said it. That's another great test versus UTEP. And you're right, last week, if they play a little bit more buttoned up, they probably get to 50. I mean, if they don't have so many penalties.
Yeah. They ran themselves out of a couple of them. Yeah, especially that last one with Jarrett Gibson. It was 2 minutes left, so I don't even know if Sark was going to run another play from scrimmage, but may have just kneeled it down. But long story short, Jerry, you picked them at 48-13. That's still, 35-point victory. I was counting that up. We had 12 total predictions. Only 3 people had Texas covering the spread.
Yeah.
Remember? And now last week, it was almost the exact opposite. We had all but 3 people covering the spread. And what happened? They didn't cover. So is this going to be the overreaction where basically,
I hope I'm
this
wrong.
is how Vegas takes your money, by the way. I want to say it.
That's why I don't bet real money.
Yeah,
I do all the research, but I would never actually bet money because I'm way too invested.
All right, we have some other things we want to get to, but look, Rod and I both right now are wearing something called 40 Acres Apparel. We're here today at the University of Texas Co-op, courtesy of 40 Acres Apparel. The University of Texas Co-op is a nonprofit and has been serving the Longhorn community since 1896. Every penny of profit directly benefits course material scholarships. In fact, more than 9,000 students received free course material scholarships in the 24-25 academic school year. 40 Acres Apparel was born inside DKR, designed and built exclusively for the University of Texas and Longhorn Nation. Go down to the co-op or go to universityoftexascoop.com and get geared up with 40 Acres Apparel. Again, I'm wearing it, but I actually have this is a pen that I got at the co-op too. So you get the pen if you come to the actual co-op. Get geared up. They've got great designs, fashionable, high quality, SPF 50, moisture wicking. The collars on these things last a while. Yeah, yes. Collar integrity. It's like the defensive integrity. It's just super good product. Looks great, feels great. 40 Acres is also a proud sponsor of the course material scholarship at the University of Texas. All right, Jerry, I want to hit on something you mentioned next as it relates to all of this. You talked about what you wanted to see in this upcoming game. Okay. I wrote down something that I want to continue to see Arch handle, and that's pressure without turning the ball over. Because he's going to see a lot of pressure, maybe more pressure than he's seen all season, right? You said that they bring a lot of people and are going to make that happen. Arch has been okay in that regard thus far. He got 1 turnover, has been fairly, judicious in that regard. I want to see him, and Jerry mentioned the word clean game. That's part of it for me. Your quarterback not turning the ball over. If he's going to be harassed, let's make sure he takes care of the ball too. That would be another one for me. Jerry, you have one that you would go on, like you mentioned, blitz defense and pick up offense line.
I'm going to go back to what I said. What was kind of the topic, but for you, Coach Irwin, yourself, and myself, and Blake this morning. I think Sark's going to test his perimeter blockers this week. I think he's going to want to see improvement there. I think he is going to pitch the ball out sometimes on the perimeter and and help his guys develop as blockers this week. I think he wants to test them after last week and see how much improvement they've made in this area from week to week. So again, I think there's going to be opportunities to do that because I do think UTEP's going to play the numbers game. And I do think Texas can outflank them a little bit on the perimeter at times. And outnumber them on the perimeter at times. And then we're going to see if the Texas wide receivers can block them up. But I think that's an area that Sark's going to want to see a lot of improvement. So I think we're going to see that as part of the game plan this week. Defensively, Rod, for me, to me, I want to see Colin Simmons. We always talk about his arch having fun. Well, I think Colin Simmons is pressing. Let's see Colin Simmons just go out and have some fun. Have some fun and not press. I mean, put away Kiki Diala's sack numbers, all that, and just go out and have fun and be who he is. Because I think if he does that, he will have a big game against UTEP. I know UTEP improved their offensive line, but I think UTEP's going to struggle with the athleticism of the Texas edges and linebackers off the edge in this game.
They're so deep on the edge, too, and I do wonder if Colin Simmons will start picking up later in the season. It seems like right now they have so many different guys that are contributing. I wonder how they're going to try to weaponize him more. I've seen them move him into B gap sometimes on those NASCAR packages. They actually dropped him a few times, which I don't like. I want him rushing past him on those third downs. But, I'm with you. I mean, there's something off with him. He's leading the country right now in penalties. That shows you that there's a lack of focus.
Or pressing.
Or pressing. Yeah, that he's pressing a little too much. But, I mean, we know he's superbly talented. Whenever he locks in, and he's kind of an unstoppable force. So that's kind of what I get into the kind of the focus thing with a guy like Colin Simmons. What I'll say about you, your point that you made about Arch handling pressure, I went and looked at that today. Pro Football Focus actually has Arch and the Texas offensive line with 24 pressures allowed on dropbacks. They actually have a stat where they attribute how many of those pressures are quarterback responsible, right?
Okay.
Quarterback related pressures. They always say 2 of Arch's pressures have been his responsibility of the 24. That's what they claim, which is one of the best numbers in college football. His pressure to sack percentage is only 7.4%, which is pretty low. Last year, it was 26%.
For
Quinn was at 23%.
At 20, okay.
Yeah, so to your point, he is handling pressure pretty well right now, based on the analytics.
That's good.
Yeah, and so I think ultimately what I want to see is third down offensive execution. I gotta see it get better, guys. It is abysmal. I haven't brought out the stats because I don't want to be doomsday about third down. I just released one of them on Twitter. People are like, "That's crazy." I'm like, I got some other ones. You don't want to see that. They have to figure out what they're doing on third down. Man.
Yeah, Rod, to your point, you want to see 12 to 13 third downs in this game, and you want to see more than half of those at 3rd and 4. That's what you really want to see. You want to see Texas get more than half of their third downs in this game at 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 3.
Right now they're averaging 3rd and 7.5, somewhere around there.
That's not going to win in the SEC.
No way. So that's what I want to see. I think I will. I'm not ready to say third down is that much of it's a tragic flaw just yet. It's way too early for that.
Right.
Man, that's a critical moment. You got to be better in those. We
have a special guest.
We got to start.
Here we go.
Go.
Is that Chris Whaley? Or 96.
He's got number 96 though. There we go. Having fun out at the co-op here. Everybody's doing it. Here we go. There we go.
Ask Bevo for his prediction score. Ask Bevo for the prediction score.
Can this Bevo talk?
No,
Bevo cannot talk, so he can't give his prediction score is 96-0.
There you go.
Way to read Bevo's body language. That was good.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bevo.
No, I think that's a Rod. When you talk about sack avoidance with him and what he needs to do, he is good. He's also strong. I think back to that Ohio State, the very final play on offense, Ohio State, probably normally a sack. Oh yeah, but he still got the ball out.
Yes.
Right.
He had one of those last week too.
Yeah, where a guy was
Like,
around his
hit him
arm.
right as he was throwing it, and he got it
That was the one to Jordan Washington that he stepped up and hit right on target, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yes.
He stepped into the pocket. Yeah, so he does have a good sense about that. We need him to play with that speed coming at him that UTEP's going to come at him with, that we've talked about, and not lose composure.
You know, one of the things that's interesting, talking about pressure with him, I went and looked up another stat. So they have a stat at Pro Football Focus related to how long a quarterback stays in the pocket. Under 2.5 seconds, over 2.5 seconds. So it's basically about how quickly you get rid of the football. How about this? No quarterback in the country is in the pocket more than Arch Manning and in the pocket for longer than Arch Manning. 77.9% of his dropbacks, he's in the pocket for 2.5 seconds or longer. That's more than any other quarterback in the country. So he's in the pocket trying to get those vertical routes downfield. If you're UTEP, that's a prime opportunity for you to be able to create pressure. Will Sark implement some quick game, some of those things to alleviate that pressure? I think we should go straight trot back quick game. Remember, CJ put out a great stat earlier this week that Pro Football Focus, if you take away RPOs and play action passes, that he is the #1 graded quarterback in the country on just straight drop backs. And I think they should do more.
Hey, and by the way, Arch is going to be really good in straight dropbacks because that's how the Mannings teach the quarterback position. He is going to be very comfortable in straight dropbacks. The other thing with those statistics, Rod, for me is Texas is going to put Sark, the way he's designed this within his scheme for Arch, it's going to put more pressure on the offensive line this year. We've talked about this preseason. It's going to put more pressure on the offensive line because last year Texas led the country in passes less than 5 yards or less. They're going to not do that this year. So Arch's, with what you're talking about, with what how Sark is scheming this up for Arch, it's putting more pressure on the offensive line and pass protection, and that is what's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And I think that's why we're going to see more 12 personnel this year too.
Again, last week was arguably, I think it was the greatest display of 12 personnel for Texas in the Sark era.
Wow. Well, I mean, they had 4 different guys catch passes.
Exactly.
That tight end.
You never had that before. That's great. You had 5 tight ends play, like legitimately early in the game and all throughout the game. When's the last time Texas did that? Any coach?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I go back a ways.
John Makovic. It's John Makovic. It's John Makovic's the last guy.
It was before me.
Yeah.
We had that many.
He was before Rod.
He was before Rod. Rod was in 8th grade at that time. I'll have you know.
Did he bring modern offense to Texas?
Hey, we're gonna bring in Marcus Myers here for a little bit and let him talk with you guys as well. Rod, let you take the reins. But first, I want to tell folks about what's going on over the weekend. Tomorrow morning, Jerry, myself, and Rod get together and we have the Saturday conversation, and then we do the tailgate at 1:00. Make sure you guys check us out there. If you come to the tailgate, we are giving away a $200 gift certificate from the folks at Duck Camp. Please join us there. Then we have the Watch with Us, Aaron Hogan, as well as our friend Rod Babers, Jerry Hamilton, and Jeff Howe will be there. Post-game live. We will be going at it as soon as that final whistle sounds. Brought to you by our friends over at Flight. Thank you all very much and look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Now, without further ado, let's welcome in Marcus Myers.
Yeah, we need to have like a sound effect.
Sound effect.
Bring in Marcus Myers.
That's funny.
Where's the soundboard Where's the soundboard producer, man?
We got to get on Matthew to get
See
a
if it'll work.
soundboard.
Oh, there we go.
Take
We're
it
in
old
there.
school like the radio.
There we go.
What's going on, Marcus? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Mrs. Burton got Bobby to bring me my hat, so I'm officially a part of the
There you
crew.
go.
It's kind of like
Oh, that's a clean one.
yeah.
I'll admit, I didn't even get one of those.
Well, he told me he asked me which one I wanted, so I picked one out that I liked.
That is cool. All right, so how you feeling about this matchup for Texas versus UTEP?
I'm good, man. I think we've talked a lot about the steps that we'd like to see them to take, and I know we talked last night about their defensive line and how they've been pretty active in being able to generate some tackles for loss and sacks. So I'm just hoping to see a really good, clean operation, and that these guys go out there and play to their standard, not up or down to their competition. And I think they have a good shot to do that.
Hey,
What's your score
Rod.
prediction again?
My score prediction?
Yeah.
I had 48-7.
There you
I
go.
think that's what I had. I had 48-7. Yeah.
Hey, so I got a question for both of you guys. This morning on Coffee and Football, we had a poll question for the OTF community. Which position needs to improve the most? And your options were all offense: quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, or actually special teams. Where of those four, where do you guys come out on that? I'll tell you, Brian Irwin said wide receiver this morning. Which position do y'all think you'd like to see the most improvement this week and moving forward, or is needed?
That's good.
I mean, I think for me it would be offensive line, just because if you have that cohesion, it feels like everything else starts to kind of work from there. But wide receiver would probably be a close second, and then at the moment you really only have one known kind of healthy commodity at running back. So in CJ Baxter, and he's still working his way all the way back. But I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be offensive line.
Last week, someone asked this, and I said tight ends. I remember I said 12 personnel. I was complaining about it and how bad
And
it
then
was.
you got what you asked for. So
I don't know if Sark was listening to me, but Sark broke out that 12 personnel, the 5 tight ends, 14 personnel package. I'm going to go with O-line. I think you're right. I hate to just straight up piggyback on your analysis, but you're spot on. Even Sark, I think, was a little disappointed in the O-line's performance versus San Jose State. And this UTEP front, I'm not saying that they're going to make a lot of plays against Texas, but they're going to be active and they're going to be aggressive. And they're going to blitz like between 55 and 60% of the time.
Yep.
And that's the most that Arch has been blitzed since he started quarterback any game that he started, even the ones last year. That's just a very aggressive front, and they know they have to do that because they have to roll the dice and gamble on defense. So I wonder what Texas will do to try to neutralize that. It'll be half the game plan, but half of it will be on Arch to be poised, cool, calm, and collected when that pressure is on.
And I think that's what led me to the offensive line one. Is like I want to see come out and like hit them in the mouth. Like make it clear early on that you're going to be in for a long day, and don't give them any reason to kind of hang around and have hope. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be a hot one too.
Yeah, it is going to be hot. Do we see? So your prediction did have a field goal in there.
No, I had 7. So last week I went 45-6 because I was going for 2 field goals.
Okay.
So I was a little off each way there. So this time, I guess I'm saying they give up some kind of leaky touchdown somewhere in there.
Okay.
And but put enough explosives out there to get, I guess, the cover for the folks that care about that.
How many turnovers do they get? They got 4 last week.
I'll give them 2.
I'm going 3.
They got 3. Okay.
Malachi Nelson actually takes care of the football pretty well. I think he could, make a lot more mistakes versus Texas, but I've been impressed with the way he takes care of the football.
Hey, Rod, to the point on Malachi Nelson, this is the first defense that has this talent level he's ever faced. Right. Now, he did practice against USC, but they weren't playing any defense when he was there. This is going to be his first game experience against elite talent. So it's going to be interesting. Does he try to force it late under duress? If I'm Texas, I'm hoping he throws it late deep and late under duress, because these Texas safeties will pick that ball off. They'll be in the right position. So I think Texas is going to get a couple interceptions and going to get a strip sack or fumble, running back fumble. Anthony Hill will clubber laying somebody again. So I think they're going to get 3.
Clubber laying. I like that. Yeah. That was good. I never seen that before. I never seen somebody just get KO'd. A hit to the ear hole, basically, by Anthony Hill, man. Shows how powerful he is. Give me your MVP of the game when it's all said and done. Woo. Does it need to be Arch? Is it just that simple? Are we doing that every week? It feels like it's just got to be Arch.
No. You know who it needs to be this week? It needs to be Ryan Wingo this week. He needs to have a great game. And on defense, it needs to be Colin Simmons. Texas needs those guys playing at a high level. I'm hoping Saturday night about 7, when y'all revisit this, that it's Ryan Wingo had a big game and Colin Simmons had a big game.
I like that.
Colin Simmons one is good.
Yeah. Yeah, Colin, I think he's probably. I think I heard you saying it, Jerry. I think he's pressing a bit too.
Yeah.
You know, just it's probably heaped a lot of expectations on himself. He, was coming off of a great freshman campaign, and when you kind of put that out there, sometimes you really kind of do a little bit more than what you actually have to do, and it gets you a bit outside of what your norm is. If I were to add one other person, I would like to see Murad Watson continue to build upon his really good week last week. I think that'd be an opportunity for him to continue to help, that defense solidify that middle. So,
I'm gonna go with a kind of a outside the box one here. I'm gonna go. He won't win it. He won't win the MVP.
Okay.
But Brandon Baker.
Nice.
Brandon Baker needs to have a big game.
Yeah,
Because if I'm
I agree.
UTEP and I'm going after anybody on that O-line, you know who I'm going after?
Yeah.
Brandon Baker.
Yeah.
He's giving up more pressure than anybody else on that O-line, and it's the edge. You can do a lot of funky things with twisted stunts. If you're going to blitz in, a lot of your blitzes are going to affect the edge in that way. I think they're going to try to come after him. And I know he's got the skill to obviously to be up to the task, but he hasn't locked in so far this year yet.
Rod Marcus, and they're going to – KD Johnson is their best defensive lineman, and he's going to be going up against Brandon Baker a lot because he kind of plays that 5-tech, and he is 6'1", 275, and a player that wins with quickness and leverage. So that's the perfect guy that you want to see Brandon Baker have success against after last week.
Yeah, we'll do it. It'll go ways to help solidify that right side as well. So, yeah, I agree. That's a good call.
And I'll say this too. I think they're going to try to hunt matchups with our DBs. I think our DBs are going to be great. I'm not saying that they're going to give up anything, but last week San Jose State had a little bit of success just targeting Gilbo a little bit in coverage, even though Gilbo should have had 2 picks, he had 1. And they targeted Grayson Littleton. Yeah. And then everybody's going to target a true freshman that's on the field. So I do believe you may get them trying to get Kenny Odom, who's their best receiver.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, and get him matched up on Grayson Littleton.
Move him around, get him away from Manning. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Rod, you threw it. It was perfect. Odom, the receiver, very similar frame guy to the Scudero from last week. He's 5'10", 170, but he's got more stats on the board. He has 14 for 221 in 2 games this year. He is a really good player. I 100% agree with you. They're gonna hunt those same matchups with him as San Jose State did last week. Let's see if that UTEP offensive line can give Malachi Nelson enough time. I think this is a big offensive line game for UTEP. Big.
I agree with that. And I believe he came with the head coach from Austin Peay.
Yes.
So he's a
He's
culture
familiar
guy
with the
for them.
system. Yep.
He's a culture guy. He's a culture warrior for them as well. They kind of built a lot of their culture around him coming over with the coach. Also, I want to throw out there, they've had 2 kicks blocked in 2 games.
It'd be nice.
It's
been a while.
Hey, Rod, is
kicks
that
blocked in 2
what
days.
is that punts or kicks? Punts or kicks?
That I do not. No, it's kicks. It's kicks, not punts.
It's kicks. Yeah.
Kicks,
Okay.
not punts.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an extra point or a field goal. I knew they had 2 kicks blocks. So if you're Texas, hey, that's something you can take advantage of.
Do we know who jumps for us?
Who's the jumper? I don't know. It's a great question.
Because what made me think about it is
Last year, who was it? Alfred Collins?
I think so. Somehow I saw some B Rob highlights the other day. And he was really good at doing that, and so it got me kind of wondering who we have doing that. I have to maybe go back and take a look at that, see if I can figure that out for the game tomorrow.
That's a great observation. I have no idea, but everybody has one. Ours was Tyrone Jones.
Yeah.
Tyrone Jones.
Yeah.
He was great. He was a long linebacker, and he had like a 38-inch
Had a
vertical.
long wingspan. Yep.
Man.
Long to jump.
Who should it be? Now I'm thinking, who's long? Like Lance
Jelani?
Jackson? Who's a long basketball player?
Zena.
Oh, Zena. Okay.
Or Ethan, but Ethan's not really a vertical jumper. It'd probably have to be Zena.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
I can
good.
say being Zena. That would make sense.
They like Zena too. He was part of that what I'm calling the F1 package.
Yes.
They put 4 edges on the field. They had Zena out there with Colin Simmons, Trey Moore, and Ethan Burke on the field in one of their, I think 3 of their NASCAR packages.
Yeah. See, that's the sets they want to be able to get into, right? So you want to be able to put them in those 3rd and long. So you bring in guys and they're just coming from everywhere. So I'd really like to see that. That's what I was hoping we would get to see, against Ohio State. They just didn't put them in any personnel groupings that really made sense for it.
Ohio State was smart. They played a lot of 12 personnel.
Yep.
They were smart enough. They were trying to take Texas athletes off the field.
Yeah.
And they know they can play physical football with Texas. Not most teams can.
Absolutely.
Most teams can't just line up at 40, like in their regular 20 or 12 personnel or 21 personnel, get Texas in 40 personnel and still run downhill on them.
Right.
No, but Ohio State can.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they go about it.
All right, let me ask you one more thing here because, Arch Manning is obviously going to be the big topic of conversation. People want to know how Arch is going to play.
Right.
Give me your prediction on how Arch is going to play in the game. You ain't got to give me the stat prediction.
I think
just the improvement.
Yeah, I think we already saw some improvement, right? Like if he just continues to make these steps, like I don't need a huge jump from one week to the next. It's just a steady climb, right? And I think we've talked a lot about him just stacking days and getting reps. And so I think the more and more that he gets out there to see, I just want to see him being able to get in and out of, the huddle, good, clean operation, knowing where his guys are going to be and then them making plays for him. Jerry mentioned, like, there's going to be opportunities for Wingo to make some plays. He needs to be able to make those. He's seen that he can, pretty well rely on Parker Livingston. He's seen he can rely pretty well on injuries. The next step of the offense is, for the guy that we expected to be the guy coming into the season to be that. So I think, Arch has a hand in that, but his guys got to help him out. I think if he just kind of does similar to what he did last week, but does a little better job protecting the ball. I think I heard Sark talk about how that was one that pretty readily Manning kind of admitted, like, hey, that's one I would want back, right? So you're not making the same mistakes that you made the week before and just continue to make that progression as you march towards SEC play.
For me, number one, I want to see his helmet comm work all game long, because last week that was an issue. But here's the thing. I think there's going to be a lot of I think UTEP, they play this 3-man front. They're going to be trying to confuse Arch at the line of scrimmage a lot. Where are the backers coming from on this play? How are they going to be able to disguise it, right? I think his pre-snap reads, his checks, getting Texas into the right plays, the correct plays, is maybe going to be his toughest task in this game, because I do think UTEP, because they're pretty good at linebacker. I think that's their best position on defense, and they bring those guys from different places. Are they going to be able to create enough confusion, or is Arch going to really have a good feel pre-snap? If he has a good feel pre-snap, the Texas talent will win, and I think they can win down the field.
Back in here.
Appreciate you.
Welcome. Talk to you later, Jerry.
Speaking of those linebackers, Udoka Iziani, is that how you say his name? He's a damn good player too. He's kind of a hybrid for them, I feel like. And they move him around too. And he's another guy that makes plays in the backfield. So I'm with Jared. The linebackers are definitely the strength of that UTEP defense, the heart of that UTEP defense.
All right. Was Marcus good?
Marcus is always good.
Y'all had fun? The good stuff? All right. Let's get to some super chats. Y'all ready for this?
There's a big
one. Let's do it. Oh, Rod, what are you going to wear?
Oh, I don't have my helmet.
You don't have your helmet on. You don't have your helmet on.
The Bevo head.
Manual B. Have a drink on my guys. You do. You guys deserve it. Excited for tomorrow and hope to see improvements across the board. We'll be in town for Paris weekend. Will you guys be at the co-op? Any updates on Jonah Williams? Thank you, Manuel B. We'll be at a tailgate tomorrow if you want to join us. It's up near the LBJ lawn in front of the Thompson Center. Please come join us, Manuel, on us. This is very kind of you. That's a donation. Thank you so much. As far as Jonah Williams, he went back to practice last week. There's been some in and out, is my understanding. And so he may be delayed yet again.
Yeah.
We will have to wait and see, but we do not think right now, at least we're leaning to hearing that unlikely for Jonah this weekend, unfortunately.
It's lingering. It's a lingering one.
It really is. A couple other questions. See what you got here. Thank you again, Manuel B. Nathaniel Loper. Jerry, what high school game are you going to tonight? You're up on I-10 already.
Yeah, this is a weird Friday. I'm actually not going to a game tonight because I've been at schools all week. I'm not going to a game that we're gonna take a look at some other stuff tonight. And then I'm going to be going to a high school Monday when I head back to the Houston area. So this is one of the rare Fridays I'm not going to a game where I'm actually on the road. But we got some good work done on the road this week, practices.
Gaddis, over under 0.5 TDs for Parker Livingston. And we are saying his name correctly now. It's Livingston. Yeah. He's been the big play receiver for this Texas offense to this point of the season. 3 touchdown catches. Jack Kendry's the other 2. What do y'all think?
Take the over.
You think the over?
I would take it.
Jerry Hamilton, you a Parker buyer right now?
Yeah, I'm taking the over on that. I definitely in this game too. I'm taking the over. I got Parker. I would go 1.5 and still maybe take the over in this game.
1.5 and take the over. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Jeff Banks, this one from Jared. Jeff Banks, better get the special teams tuned up with this game. I'm sick of the inconsistencies and not just punting. You're a little harsh there, Jared. A little harsh. The tone is harsh.
Yeah, because Jeff Banks. Last year, obviously, special teams took a nosedive. But other than that, those first 3 years, Texas had one of the best special teams units in the country each of those 3 years. And this year, I don't really know if they found the right pieces just yet. And that includes punt return. I think the Ryan Niblett experiment, he can still improve, or they can look at other options. So I think the return game still needs more explosivity. And I like Bowmeister, though. I mean, I think he's great. I know last week he didn't have the week he had in week 1, but I still think he's going to be one of the best punters in the country. And Mason Shipley, I mean, the one field goal he got a chance to kick, he made. So I think special teams is playing okay right now. You just want more big plays from it. Punt blocks, punt returns, big returns. You're not getting enough of those.
Texas dude says, miss the co-op. It definitely is one of my favorite places to come because you always see somebody in here. We talked about seeing Nico Harrison in here earlier. Yeah. The general manager of the Dallas Mavs, his daughter Nia is a track and field recruit. They were in here. That's just fun.
So many like sports stars, kids that go to school in Texas.
Well, and we had Maddie Booker in here last week trying on a cowboy hat. It's that kind of stuff that you just walking around and you see somebody. Todd Lacey with the question here. We get good questions from Todd a lot. More rollouts are needed on third downs, in my opinion.
Idea,
get Arch on the edge away from pressure versus UTEP. What if they bring the corner, though? then you're rolling right into it potentially, or away from it, depending on what corner they bring. What do y'all think about that? More movement from Arch on third down? Does that help improve the percentage?
Sark said he wanted to get him moving early. I think he was talking about more obviously running the quarterback. He thinks that kind of get the juices flowing for Arch early. I know they tried the bootleg to start the Ohio State game in one of his favorite plays, and it just didn't quite work out. But I agree with Todd. I think moving the pocket more, especially against a team that wants to blitz a lot, I think it could work to your advantage.
I agree.
All right, let's see here. Let's go to a couple other questions before we get going here this afternoon. Is it time, from Zane Petty, to start Nate Kibble at left guard? They've given Connor Stroh a go. They've given Nato a go. Kibble looked really good at right guard last Saturday. But is it time? I mean, here's what I would say, and I'll let Rod and Jerry take from here. The only person that knows is really Kyle Flood. And he's obviously made the decision he's made based on what he's seen in practice. So, Zane, it's not time until Kyle Flood says it's time, in my opinion, because they know infinitely more and see infinitely more than we do just hearing behind the scenes. Y'all, either of y'all have a question about that?
Well, I would say this. I think we could see more of Nate Kibble at right guard. I think we could see more of him at right guard because if Connor Stroh and Neto are battling it out at left guard, I could see more of Nate Kibble pushing DJ Campbell, getting a few more snaps. I'm not saying he's going to start over him at right guard. That's where I think we're going to see Nate Kibble.
here, so that's what I was asking about there. Jerry, you're on this trade
Yeah.
though. I hope James Simon, the running back out of Shreveport area, gets some more playing time tomorrow. We've heard he looks quick around the edges, by the way. Have we not?
No
Yeah.
Trey Weisner, Cedric Baxter on the pitch count, seems like, for early part of the season, which I think is wise. It should happen.
Clark and Gibson didn't look great.
Oh, Gibson might be in the doghouse again with the fumble. We don't
Sark
know.
Sark acted like he was okay and understanding.
That's true.
Hey,
Fool
so
me
here's
once, and that's okay.
That's true.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
He seemed very compassionate when he talked.
Yeah.
here's my question for y'all on this. Bobby, sometimes the running backs initially when they get in the game for their first time, it doesn't take long to tell if they can be good or really, really good. What if James Simon's first touches make us think he's going to be really, really good? How does that change the running back position and room this year?
True.
Well, if he is if he's quick and fast, it changes it immediately. Because I don't know that I see one that fits that bill right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's Clark that has the long speed. I don't think it's Gibson. Baxter, Weisner is kind of that 15 to 25 yard maximizer.
Elite twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if he has that. If he has that, it's immediate, Jerry. It's immediate. All right, let's finish up with this one here from Daniel Honorato. Who scores Texas's first defensive TD this year? And I need someone to hone their inner Rod Babers for a pick six.
That's what I'm talking about.
Who you gonna go with a strip sack of Colin Simmons? That's what I'm doing. I'm going Colin Simmons with the full meal deal. Strip sack, gets the ball, and scores.
I like it.
What about you, Rod?
Ooh, I'm gonna go secondary, of course. I gotta go somebody in the secondary. I'm gonna go with Malik Muhammad.
Okay.
I like it.
He's been working on his hands. He says it's been one of his focal points all off season, and I think he's due for a big play in the secondary.
I will say this before you answer, Jerry. Texas had a pick six against UTEP the last time these two teams played. Jaron Thompson took one back. What do you got, Jerry?
Well, Trey Moore missed by a yard last week, and he got close. I'm going strip sack in the end zone. I'm not sure it's going to be a pick six. I'm going to go strip sack in the end zone, and I think we're going to see Ethan Burke fall on the ball for the first defensive touchdown. I think that length coming around the edge.
Okay, I can handle that. Again, guys, thank you all for joining us here. Thanks for everybody that came out. Thanks for the folks at the co-op. Always a pleasure joining them here. It is Friday before game day. It's always kind of buzzing. It's got a good feel to it. Kind of feel like you're home if you've been away from home and the university for a while. So please stop by and visit them when you get an opportunity. This episode of On Texas Football has been brought to you by our friends over at Garage Beer. This is beer the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. It's Garage Beer, no gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. It's flavored beer. Again, that's Garage Beer. The garage is always open. Also want to mention our friends at 40 Acres Collection. When we come here at the co-op, it's courtesy of them. And Jeff Clark and the people over there at the 40 Acres Collection have just been terrific to us. That's how Rod and I get most of our game day gear. Is it not? All right. Hey, we'll see you again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., bright and early, for the Saturday conversation. For Jerry Hamilton, Rod Babers, I'm Bobby Burton, and our producer, the real star behind the scenes, Matt Hutchison. You guys have a good week. Hook 'em. Let's beat the Miners.